What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I wanted to put this in the beginning. Of course, we are coming to you live from Gotham Production Studios, which is our home here for X Drinking Buddy. Remember to subscribe on Patreon, patreon.com/Brennan Tassif. You can also follow on social media at X Drinking Buddy on Instagram, Twitter, and follow me at Brennan T Comedy on all social media. Check out BrennanTComedy.com for the upcoming shows. And don't forget to get your X Drinking Buddy merch. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Boom. That's it. Easy peasy.
Grab me a beer and grab me a coke. We about to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Brennan Tassif is your X Drinking Buddy. I am your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. It was my favorite thing to do, hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then reminisce about those crazy stories. I am sober now, but it's still one of my favorite things to do, hang out with someone and reminisce about the crazy old days. Most weeks I'll be joined by a guest. This week is no exception. All the way from New York City, K-Day.
Hi, what's up?
What's up?
Feeling Gucci, happy to be here.
All right, let's get into it. So before we get too far into anything, you do music. Let everyone know where they can find you. Your social media, you have the singles that are out. Let everybody know.
Yeah, I'm Cray K-Day with a K. Cray K-Day on Instagram. Botch video on TikTok. Got a new song out called Barbie where I say, I'm a slut, let him eat it out my butt. You know,
yeah,
it's really not kid friendly. And so I don't know. Just go follow me. I'm fucking funny and I'm cool and
hell yeah.
Whatever.
Funny and cool, baby.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. I wanted to have you on. You reached out to me and you were like, hey, I've been seeing a lot of these clips. I would love to come on the podcast. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And then we were talking outside a little bit before we got in here. And you have quite the repertoire, as it were, of being not only in show business and like around entertainment, but also with like rehabs and stuff that you had mentioned. So I want to just start with how you got into music. Because we were talking about this a little outside, and you had mentioned that you were doing comedy, you were acting and stuff. But for the listeners, when did you like find the music thing?
I've always been I'm from Kentucky, so I hated everything growing up. So I always knew I was different from everybody, growing up. And
so you weren't like a regular Kentucky kid?
No. Do I look like it? No, they don't look like me.
You sure do sound like it.
I do. I still am country as fuck. The accent does not leave me, but I knew I was different. So I moved to New York as soon as I was 19.
Okay.
And
So what happened? You finished high school, hung out for a year, and then moved to New York?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I just partied and wrecked a bunch of cars, got in trouble, and then I moved to New York with that car insurance money, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I started acting. I got on some TV shows.
So when you moved to New York, because you had talked about you went to school for film, right?
I did it afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm a real stickler for details. So you're living in Kentucky, you do the high school thing, you're out partying, you're going crazy, and then you were just like, I don't want to fucking be here anymore. Right. I want to go somewhere. And why New York? Between LA, New York, Chicago, why New York?
My sister and brother had lived here, and so I'd been here before.
Yeah.
But I just knew, I'm honest. I'm way too overly honest to live in LA.
Yeah.
I can't drive. I've wrecked 8 cars in my life. Yes, I've wrecked 8 cars in my life. And so I just came here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you got here, what was the plan? Because I'm always fascinated by this because I had to save up forever. Me and my ex moved here, and it was a big deal. You're moving across the country. So for you, did you just move and crash on a couch? Did you have a plan set up? How?
Oh, dude, I totally forgot about this shit. I moved here and I got keys from somebody from Louisville, Kentucky. They said my aunt lives in New York and then gave me keys. And I was like, oh,
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So I came here. I went to McKibben Street and I'm doing this key with all my shit. And it was not real. The house
my God,
was not
are you for real?
No. And these dudes came out and I was like, I think that I'm supposed to live here. And they're like, no, you don't. And I'm just standing on their street with a suitcase. They're like, no, you're definitely not. They're like, do you do coke? And I was like, yeah. And I just came, I didn't know anybody. I just went into these dudes' house as a 19-year-old, did drugs with them, and the next morning, I had told my family, oh, I don't have a place to live. I don't really talk to them, but they were pissed, and my sister.
How did you get up here? Did you drive?
I flew.
Oh, you flew?
Yeah.
So you just had a duffel bag full of your shit.
Yeah.
and then you show. So did you ever confront the person who gave you the keys?
Yeah, but I shouldn't talk about that legally.
I just wanted to know that you confronted the person. Okay.
I mean,
so what did you do?
Ripped off his back. Then I crashed on a couch. I found out about gypsy housing and stuff. And then I found a place to live in Flatbush. I went from Louisville, Kentucky to Flatbush, Brooklyn. My blonde ass, like it was great. I fit in perfectly. Yeah.
So you get here, the whole house debacle happens, which is an insane. The fact that this is why I love doing the show. I totally forgot. Because we'll start talking about stuff. And you'll be like, oh yeah, because that's an insane thing to happen. And so then you start living here. And then what was your first inkling when you moved here? Were you like, I'm going to act? Or were you like, oh, I have to get a job doing something?
So easy, you know? Because I was like...
I was doing comedy for 10 years before I moved here. And I was like, oh, I'll just show up. And they'll be like, boy, oh boy. That is not how it works.
Yeah. I was like a, background extra. And then
How did you find it? Like, did you just online looking for stuff?
Okay. And shit. Like, I was looking for stuff. But then I started becoming a music video girl for like All Time Low. Like, I'm in some Taking Back Sunday music video.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but I just always been into music. I always been rapping when I was younger too. Like when I'm fucked up, like I just rap. I'm like that annoying girl that like thinks she's really good and they're like, shut the fuck up.
I've talked about this before, but my twin sister dated a hip hop artist. He lives in LA now and he's doing really well. Shout out J. Claude. He's been on the show, but she was 18. So she's obviously my twin. So we're 18. And we would just party with him and all his friends in the music group, and they would just get fucked up and just freestyle to each other, like you do at a party when you're drunk.
Yeah.
And I, to your point of like you were good at it, I would try to do it, and I was like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really bad at this. But I was just drunk, and I was like, oh, I want to be a part of it. And imagine me, because I looked the same as I did at like 19. Imagine me being like, yo, yeah, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
But you were into music. You were like, oh, I like doing this. So when you get here, you're doing the background acting, you're like doing stuff to survive. And then how did you transition into music? Were you always like doing it?
I kind of was like, I forget shit. Like when I say I've been to a bunch of rehabs, I have for a reason. Like when you're like my therapist right now, I'm like remembering, oh shit, I have like memories that are unlocking.
Yeah.
I rapped when I was younger, I opened up for like Skrillex.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I fucking did. Like it was like when he just started being a DJ, and I went backstage like a fucking asshole, and I was like, yo, you should really keep doing that emo shit from first to last. Like, that shit really pops. And, like, 6 months later, he's, like, a fucking Grammy award-winning artist, and I'm poor in New York being a background actor. Like,
so this was in New York?
That was in, like, Bowling Green, Kentucky or Nashville. But, like, then I moved. But then I just quit music because I was like, fuck rapping. I was on fucking TMZ. I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah, you were on TMZ for a little
while. Once my contract was up, I was like, I'm going to quit being a paid actor to doing punk rock music because that's where the money is. Yeah. Like,
if we know anything about punk, we know that's where the money is.
Yeah, that's just where you should be. Like,
where the money is.
I had a golden ticket out, and then now I chose this just like
because you had mentioned to me earlier that you were doing like acting, and then you had gotten into comedy for a little bit.
Yeah.
Were you actually like going on stage doing stand up?
Yeah.
Okay. When did that happen?
In New York, I started that. And the open mics were a lot different. I'm like 20.
Okay, so this is like a year, 2 years into New York.
Improv. I was like a part of the Pit Improv, like, and when it was like real popping and cool. But then I don't know. I just been into a lot of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's why we want to get into it. So you move to New York, then you do the acting and stuff like that, and then about a year, 2 years into it, you start doing stand up.
Yeah.
And then you had mentioned earlier at one point you had moved to LA.
When I was on TMZ, I only moved there for like a year because like I had a contract.
But how did you, and I know you don't want to, well, you don't have to get into the TMZ thing itself.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask you how you even got into that room. Like, how do you even?
So, like, I've been
doing comedy for a long time, and I've never been in a room to be like pitching myself to like a big thing.
I didn't even know what show it was, honestly. Like, and my contract's up, so y'all can't sue me. Suck my fucking dick.
That's right.
Anyway, so I went to this open casting call, and they were like, what do you think of Kim Kardashian? And I was like, if this is what this show is, count me out. Like, I was so crazy back then, always just like on blow.
Yeah, back
then. Going to auditions.
Back then you were so crazy.
I'm sober at this moment right now. And I was like, fuck Kim Kardashian. I don't give a fuck if this is what it's about. And they're like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, boo. Like, I just was roasting everybody. Yeah. And then the next day, they were like,
yeah,
we want you to be on TMZ. And the people on there hated me because I guess they paid their dues, and I just fucking walked on
Showed
the
up,
set.
yeah.
But I didn't really understand how terrible it was until I was on there.
And then you were on it, and then it was like, oh boy.
Oh, yeah. And they edit you wrong, too. I'd be like, Kim Kardashian sucks. And because I try to quit, I'd be like, Blink-182 rules. On the episode, it'd be like, Blink-182 sucks. And I'm like, I didn't say that shit. Like, you know.
The magic of editing.
Yeah.
So when did you work at Law and Order?
Nah.
No?
I've worked on it. I've worked on it the last years.
Oh, okay.
But,
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, because
Yeah.
you're doing music now.
yeah, I still have always done music while I worked in film.
That's why I wanted
When
to ask.
I moved back from LA, I went to film school just because I
Okay.
knew I was good at it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm like the best editor. Like I can fix red cameras, Alexas. Like
Yeah.
I just don't have love for it right now.
So you get back from LA, and you're doing the other stuff, and then you were just like, no, I just want to do music. And then
Yeah.
when did Barbie happen?
Barbie happened in August. I
Okay.
went down to Nashville. I met these guys at my show in New York. I opened up for Starletta and Jack the Underdog. Shout out to you guys.
Shouts out.
And this guy was there, and he was like, you should check out Nashville. And I was like, bet, like, I'll fly down, like,
Yeah.
let's go. So I went down there, and I met all these guys. They don't want me to say their names because they're
Yeah,
like
yeah.
country music, like really good country. I don't know country music, but they're like
Big.
really crazy good at writing these musics, and all these country dudes are sitting around me being like, how about I'm a slut, let him eat it out my butt, like helping me like do the stuff, like I'm stuck in a box while my box on your chin, like just
So all these country guys are just punching up
with me
with you
that I
about
just met in Nashville, and I'm
Isn't
so
entertainment funny?
yeah, it's crazy, but they're like, damn, like this might be the biggest song. Like I'm TikTok flags me a lot, but it
Yeah.
is really
It's blown
funny.
up. Yeah, it's a big
pretty
thing.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so then now, because you had mentioned that you were thinking about moving back to Nashville just to do music, correct?
I'm still debating.
Yeah.
Like, I've never lived in Nashville. I'm debating where to go. Like
I mean, it's got to be a lot like Kentucky.
Louisville is the worst.
Is it? I don't know. I've never
I'm
been.
just kidding. No, it's just dramatic.
Yeah.
Like I've never been to Louisville without seeing like a full on fight. Like,
Oh, really?
Or without being in one. Like to be honest, like yeah, like Louisville is just like there's nothing to do but fight, fuck, and drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fucking Louisville, baby.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the country, I've realized.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people I talk to, they have a lot of the similar stories where it's like, yeah, there's nothing to do. So we just get fucked up and beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
Or have sex.
Actually, okay, just side note, I was just there last month and I didn't even see my ex. I was at a pumpkin patch and I wanted to do something wholesome. I went to a pumpkin patch and
Just you threw that out there. We're talking about eat it out your butt. And then you're like, yeah, I was at a pumpkin patch.
I was at a pumpkin patch, but like while I'm at a pumpkin patch, I'm getting notifications like, oh, these people are fighting over you at a bar. And I was like, dude,
Oh,
I'm
like
at
people
a
are
pumpkin
texting
patch.
you?
I'm not even at the bar, homie. Like I'm picking out little gourds and shit. Like, and people fight. Just my presence being in Louisville. So,
Wow. You've got quite the presence.
yeah. I've made up some funny songs that don't go over well with Louisvillians.
Yeah, well, I mean, you sent me the one. It was hilarious of you dressing up like your exes. That was
To
fun.
Justin.
Yeah.
Yes. Those.
That was a good
those
one.
dudes are the.
Well, we
guys
were
in
talking about
Louisville.
this. We were talking about this before because this is something very interesting. You and I have had. We kind of connected on this, and the fact that your internet kind of presence is different than you live, and then you like actually just one on like in person.
Yeah.
Which is why I was telling you the podcast is so important to me, because if people see me live and they have no idea who I am, they're just like, oh, that's a psycho. Like that guy's a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know me and you know I'm very spoken and I'm very empathetic and like I'm very caring, and then you see me tell these crazy stories, that's what the plot twist is. You're like, I could never imagine Brennan doing something like this.
100%.
And for you were like, yeah, it's real weird because a lot of times people like give me hate just because of what they see online. But then if they see me live, they're like, oh, we love this. This is hilarious because it's supposed to be satire.
100%.
So
like,
how did that, because you had talked about like people in your town like making shirts and like going after you and stuff.
yeah.
But we don't have to get into that. But I just want to know, like, what is that for you as an artist? What is that like to be like, how do you not, because I go through this all the time where I'm like, how don't you get it? Like, why don't you get it? Like, it's a joke. Like, we're all kidding.
I not want to be that person because this is going to get even more people mad. But oh my God, I'm going to sound like that fucker Matt Rife or whatever. Like, I do feel like because I've been on like Playboy or because I don't have any shame on that shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but because I've done stuff like, and because I do sing about being a slut,
Yeah.
some people just can't see anything else, but it's acting. Like, you're seeing me right now and you see me in the Barbie video. Like, it's two different people. Like, it's obviously a persona. It's a joke. If you listen to the lyrics, it's a joke.
Literally hilarious.
Yeah, and whenever I'm on stage, you see me more as a comedian singer, like more like Tenacious D,
more
or
of
like
who you
Lil
are.
Dicky, like
Yeah.
Little Dicky and shit, like. Because I can tell jokes and you're there with me. You see that I'm a person. But online, I don't look real. Like, I don't know. I don't want to. That's what I assume.
Yeah. So because that's just something that I've struggled with, where it turns into this thing where it's like I've put up bits and people are like, that's not funny. Like, that's just trauma dumping, blah, blah. And I go, no, it's funny because of who's saying it. Like, that's why it's funny.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because you have this persona, but then also what you're talking, like when the To Justin song, I was watching the video when I got home from work last night and I was laughing because you dress up like all these different exes. And I'm like, oh, this is, if I was one of these exes, I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? And that made me laugh so hard.
Yeah. Well, there is another part of me where, like, if you fuck me over, instead of me being my old self and beating the shit out of you or slicing your tires or burning your fucking house down, I write songs. And, like, I don't say their real name. I've never fucked a Justin. I'm smart as fuck. You know what I mean? So no one can be like, that's about me. Is your name Justin, bitch? No, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm smart. But, like, I do look like, I'm not gonna lie, I look like these people. Like, dead ass.
That's
like,
awesome.
I look just like
Well, and it's
them,
also a
but
big thing, too, where I've learned just doing comedy for so long that it's so much sweeter to write a bit about someone and maybe not say their name, maybe use a different name, but they know it's about them. And then when you do it at a show and the whole audience laughs, they have the audience has no context, but they laugh, and then I'll clip it and I'll put it up and I'm like, I hope they see that because they know I'm talking about them. That's my favorite thing in the world.
Okay,
I'm like,
so we should be best friends because... Okay, I mentioned this earlier, and I've never really talked about this online, so you might get some views from some people that I'm actually mentioning this. So I made this song, Vampire Lady.
Yeah.
It's about a vampire with chlamydia, and it's ridiculous. It's obviously a satirical, funny song. Like, I'm literally like, oh, in the video, like, fucking
Well, and
Frankenstein.
also, there's no vampires.
Is there not?
No.
Okay, so I guess there's not so there's no vampires.
We can all establish here that there are no
real
vampires.
But this, obviously, it might be pointed towards somebody, but I never said that it was, ever. And this girl online was like, K&A wrote a song about me, I swear. And I was like, and she's like, I swear I don't have any STDs. I don't have any STDs. And I'm looking at this shit like, this is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. So then...
We can neither confirm nor deny whether this song...
Dude, it's about a vampire, man. Like, I don't know. It's about a fucking vampire. But, like, people went crazy. Like, she's a bully. She's a woman hater. I'm like, bitch, I hate vampires.
Yeah,
okay?
we can all agree.
Like, y'all are crazy. And you are just making everybody think that this song that may or not even be about you is about you, which I do say horrible things.
Well, and I love that.
But
when
yeah,
people,
that was my favorite thing ever.
People take it and they run with
Yeah.
it. They go, this is about such and such. And you go, and as the person who wrote the bit, I'll be like, actually, it's not. But then sometimes I'm like, let them run with it.
Yeah.
Let them see what happens.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's why I got so many views is because this girl went fucking crazy and it actually helped me. Like, now every time I sing Vampire Lady at a show, everyone's like, Vampire Lady!
Yeah.
Like, they fucking love it. It's the dumbest song in the world. And they fucking love Vampire Lady. I bought Botox for the first time off of my merch for Vampire Lady.
Vampire Lady?
Yeah. And I was like, thank you, girl.
Well, that's the thing, too, is what I don't think people understand is, and I mean, maybe they do, but I did a thing, Hannah Berner, who's a friend of mine, she does a Hannah on the Street thing, and so she just asks questions, and she's very famous and it gets millions and millions of views. Well, one of them, she asked me if she goes, have you ever been to therapy? And just playing into the persona that is like a stage presence kind of a thing, I laughed in her face when she asked me that. Because like on stage, I'm like, oh, blah, 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 like big, strong guy. So I laughed. And as a comic, that's the bit. I've been to rehabs and detoxes. Of course, I've been to therapy.
Of course.
I go to
Yes,
AA.
yes,
That is
I get it.
fucking group therapy.
Yeah.
But I laughed because I was like, oh, it's funnier if I laugh because she's a comic. So it's like, oh, this will be the bit as I'll laugh. So I took that from like the series that she posted. I just cut it, just her and I and me laughing. And I posted that online. And so many people were like, this guy's belittling therapy, like in the comments, like just, and then people are arguing, like some of these like Southern guys are like, hell yeah, brother, tell him therapy's for the weak.
Therapy's for pussy.
And they're going like back and forth. But I say all that to say like, that video got like close to 1 million views, not because of who I am, because I have no internet presence, and not even because of Hannah, because like if it was on her page, it would get millions of views, but because it was on my page, like it did. It's because everyone started arguing about it in the comments, and that just blows up the algorithm. So I was like, you guys are in here like just boosted. I was like, thank you. Thank you. Like, this is great. People don't realize it's like, and also, who's ever won an argument in a comment thread?
Oh, yeah, no. I always, like, hit on them and stuff.
Do you?
Yeah. I'm like,
you fuck with them?
You want to make out a little bit? I was like, I just jerked off to this comment, babe. Like, sometimes, like, I was like...
You OnlyFans it?
But excuse me, I have Playboy.
I'm sorry,
I
apologize.
No, OnlyFans is cool. I used to have it.
But, well, I only say that because this whole idea... Because I've heard people talk about this, whether it's on stage or just talking with other comics, because we're all degenerates. And they're like, yeah, like this girl on OnlyFans responded to me. And I go, that's probably like an assistant or something. And they're like, no, it's her. I swear it's her. And I'm like, I don't think it is. But then I also thought like maybe she's in there like what you're saying, like just bored one day and she's just like fucking with people. Like, oh my God, I love you.
Because I have like a TikTok presence for like many reasons that are nothing about my music. Like, I have millions of fucking views and never for my music.
God.
Like, but no, I love reading the comments. Like, I love the bad ones because it like makes me horny. Like,
does
I don't
it?
know. Yeah, because I'm like, you care so fucking much. Like about this, like about me, like you make me feel special.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, so next time just jerk off, you'll feel better. Yeah.
I used to tell people when I had like no social media at all, I would tell people like, don't read the comments. That's stupid. Why would you read the comments? And then when I started doing stuff that got a little bit of traction, I became so addicted to the comments. And like I would go through like, again, when like people would post stuff, because a lot of times it's like my more famous friends that would post stuff with me in it because I have no presence. So I would go on their page and like scroll through the comments and like look for someone who mentions like me. And I'd be like, come on.
Yes.
And then I'd be like, yeah. But then it would be a negative comment. And I was like, aw. But it was so funny to me because I was like, wait, Brennan, weren't you the same fucking person 2 years ago being like, don't read the comments? And now you're scrolling through another person's page of a video you're in to find comments about you. Like, it's so addicting.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I mean, just a quick side note. I was in a fight with Perez Hilton last year on TikTok.
Were you
like,
really?
Yeah, like about Britney Spears. Like, it was a very public thing. And I read every single one of those.
Did you?
I was like loving it. Perez Hilton like would post videos of me being like, I'm not getting laid because of my TikTok. I would say that because seriously, people broke up with me because they're like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, about your TikTok. I'm like, it's making me money. They're like how much? I'm like enough to pay a phone bill. But like,
people fuck with me all the time because of my Patreon.
Like, whatever. But
people mess with me a lot because of
crazy.
my Patreon because they're like, you don't have a follow. And I go, well, it pays my electric bill. Like, back off. Like,
it still takes something. You know, like if TikTok was real when I was younger, I'd be a fucking star.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be a star. I thought of this. Like, I used to do fucked up things.
Yeah.
Like,
well, let's get into it. So,
okay, yeah.
When did you, because you're obviously, you mentioned you're from Louisville, you're from Kentucky. There's not a lot to do there. So when did you like start like drinking and like partying and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, damn. I wasn't ready for these questions. No, I am.
That's the show,
When I was super young,
Okay.
me and this kid, Devin Porter, started this.
I'm going to time mark that just in case you send me a text later.
Oh, no, he doesn't care at all. I think he'd actually kill me if I did not say his name.
Okay,
like,
shout out like, Devin Porter.
Yes, yeah. He's going to be like, she said it. No, fuck you, bro. No, I love him.
A lot of times people, just because it will be so free-flowing, they'll just throw a name out and then they'll go, fuck. And I'm
as
like,
long as it's not my ex. This is like, so Devin and I were like, we're misfits. Yeah, Justin. Me and Devin were misfits. I was just like, I didn't believe in God. Devin was a gay black kid from Southern Indiana, and you didn't see a lot of those. And we were just like best friends.
And this is in Louisville?
It's like Southern Indiana, 10 minutes away where we went to high school.
Okay.
So basically, we just
I always forget those, because I grew up in Central Florida, so we don't have anything else around us. So.
Exactly. But we would get in trouble. We'd sneak out of school, and
How old are you when you're doing this?
Like 16,
Okay.
17.
So you're in high school, yeah.
Yeah, and we'd go to this place called Spinelli's Pizzeria, and I just met all these older dudes. I wanted to fit in so bad with these. It was like a punk rock pizzeria.
Yeah.
It's the best pizzeria ever, though. Like, and I just felt so
it still
cool
there?
Yeah, it's
Hell
still there.
yeah.
Yeah, Spinelli's is the fucking best.
Spinelli's.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of shout outs.
I am, yeah. Well, they like raised me though.
No, I know,
so I
that's what I'm
went
saying,
there
yeah.
and like I saw them and I hated my life and my like where I was living. So
Yeah.
I got a job there, but I was kind of too young to work there. So my friend got me a fake ID and me and Devin would just get fucked up all the time. But we'd get fucked up during school, go by animal. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. We'd go by animals like rats and birds. And we'd go places and prank them. Like we went to, I swear on my life, if you called him right now, he would tell you this is the exact same story.
Oh, I believe
Yeah.
you. Hence the laughter.
Yeah, we went to a tanning bed once and then opened a box and like put a bird down and we just sat there like, yeah, and we just like waited for the bird to fly around. We were bored. We got rats and we put them in people's cars.
Oh my
like, yeah.
God.
No, we were fucked up kids. Like everyone would be like, Devin and K-Day are fucked up. We called each other the Trashy Life. I have a fucking tattoo. TL,
Oh, you do?
the Trashy Life. Like ridiculous.
So when did you start?
like if that shit was on TikTok,
Oh.
back like you, but now these
10
like,
million followers.
I would
Easy.
be the most famous. People would be, they'd be like, that's like Jackass,
Yeah.
like, but dangerous.
I did.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, because Jackass got really big when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So to get attention, I would do Jackass things, but I would do it to myself. So like I'd staple myself and stuff like that.
Did you?
Yeah, there's a video on YouTube right now that my sister's friend took when we were 17 or 18 of me stapling myself. And everyone's like, oh my God, like freaking the fuck out.
Where did you staple yourself?
Just on my arm. If you hit it hard enough, it doesn't even hurt.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we gotta staple. No,
I'm just joking. That's fucking, that's crazy.
But I used to, well, I mean, like I've got all these weird scars because I used to do all sorts of crazy shit. And so that was the thing. Like when I was younger, I was really depressed and anxious and stuff like that. And the listeners have heard the story a million times. But then I found stand up and I was like, oh, this is cool. As an anxious, depressed kid, I found something that can make me laugh for 30 minutes. Because that was foreign to me. I had no idea what that
like
was.
Viva La Bam was like my shit.
Yeah. I used to watch Comedy Central Presents all the time, like just the stand-up, the raw stand-up, and I'd be like, oh, this is awesome. So for you guys are out here doing like all this wild and crazy shit.
Yeah.
And then, like, when did you, because you were talking about obviously hanging out and doing all that stuff, when did that like become like your thing, like the trash life? When did that like become a
Trashy
thing?
Life. I mean, there was
Trashy
just like
Life,
our thing in
excuse
high
me.
school. Like we,
Let me write that
excuse
down.
you. It's a gang called Trashy Life. No, I mean, it wasn't always like fun. Like we really did get into like I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
I got into drugs like heavily though. Like
When was that at the same time, 16,
like
17?
I'd say like 17, 18. Like
Okay.
I was doing pain pills, coke, and like
Was that from like just the lifestyle you were living?
just a
or-
lifestyle,
Yeah.
and I would meet way older people, and I just would pretend that I was younger. You know, I don't blame them at all. Like
Yeah.
though, because like I was the person like wanting to be grown up so bad.
Yeah.
and I wanted to be out of the house, but I would do so much shrooms too.
Yeah.
Like, but the most insane amount of shrooms, like not like an eighth, and not like these fucking chocolate bars that you all fucking have now. Like, I mean, like
When
that's
I was
cool.
doing shrooms, you
When
pulled
I
them
was-
out of the shit and you ate them.
Yeah. Exactly.
You guys and your fucking teas and chocolate bars.
Lucky you guys, okay? They're like, oh, unseen ways. I'm like, bro, I saw a fucking hologram in death in front of me. Like, I almost
Well,
like.
let's talk about that. So you
Yeah.
mentioned to me a story about Alaska and shrooms.
Oh damn. Okay,
let's
so
talk
one
about that
day
story.
I just decided to go to Alaska.
Is this from Louisville or from New York?
No, I've lived in New York and I worked at Coyote Ugly and I saved up money and I was like, Hawaii or Alaska? I looked at the plane tickets and I was like, I'm
Alaska
just gonna go
it
to
is.
Alaska. So I fucking went to Alaska by myself.
Same duffel bag.
Same duffel bag. Yeah,
pretty good at
same
this.
stuff. Yeah, you are. And I went up there. I posted on Facebook like, "Oh, I'm in Alaska. Is anyone here?"
What?
Yeah, and,
Please
like,
tell me people responded.
one person responded. His name's Clint, and he's this photographer. Like I know him like pretty well, and he's like, "Oh, I'm at a wedding, but it's in Valdez," and I flew into Anchorage, and it's 6 hours away from Valdez.
Holy shit.
It's the first time I drove in years, and I have to burp. It's gonna happen again. And I drove all the way to Valdez. It was just crazy.
You
Basically,
drove 6 hours.
in the mountains, listening to Fall Out Boy and Lana Del Rey. Like, great. And I went there. I was like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, because I'm bipolar. So, like, sometimes I just make extreme rash decisions.
As
like,
a bipolar person, I understand.
All right, okay, yes, okay. And I get there, and there's no bars there. There's, like, nothing. There's nothing there but wilderness. People are like, you're not going out to the woods, are you? I was like, this is all woods, you know? They're like, you need a gun. You're going to see a bear. And I'm just like, whatever.
Did you have the mushrooms on you? Did you bring them?
I bought them from a local like person, and they're like crazy ass mushrooms in Alaska. And we went to a glacier. Because I'm a fucking psychopath, brought an Alice in Wonderland costume to Alaska.
Yeah.
And I was walking around glaciers because I wanted pictures.
Yeah,
looking
photo
like it.
shoot, yeah.
But no, we took.
So then when did you
shrooms
take them? When you got to the glacier?
I mean, I gotta like just fast forward, I guess. Like, yeah, I went to a glacier with Clint and like these two local, his cousins or whatever. And these Alaska people are fucking batshit. They're like jumping off rocks and I don't know.
Just shooting at the ice. Bang,
Just
bang, bang,
shooting
bang, bang.
stuff. Yeah, they're crazier than Kentucky. But no, like we went to a glacier. We're like smoking weed. It was beautiful, but like we're sitting there and there's like a house in the back and this lady's like comes out of it, some wilderness person, I don't fucking know. And she's like, hey, you kids. She's like, there's a bear behind you. And like closes her door. And I was like, and I saw like a huge ass bear like behind these people.
And you're
like,
on mushrooms at this point?
What? Like, yeah, like about to trip balls. Like I'm about to, and I'm high as fuck. So, and
you just turn around and there's a bear.
like it was actually like I could see it behind my friends.
Oh my God.
And everyone had different rules. Everywhere I went, they're like, you're gonna see a bear. And I'm like, yeah, fuck off. Like, and we did. So I was like, which one am I gonna choose? Because I don't have a gun. I don't know. And I was like, they're like, say bear, bear, bear. And I was like, there's a bear, bear, bear behind you. And like, they're like, just stay there. And I was like, yeah. And I looked, and the bear turned around and started walking. I saw this straight path, and I just was like, and I dashed.
You just got out of there?
I left my friend. I said, I don't give a sorry if you watch this, if you're alive. Like, I was like, I don't care about them. I want to live. I want to become a superstar. Why the fuck am I in Alaska on mushrooms? And I ran so fast, and you're not supposed to do that, but it didn't. I'm alive, bitch. And I hid in this like little greenhouse I found. I was like, this is a fucking horror movie because I couldn't find my way back. And I was like, oh my God. And they like found me there, like at house.
Who found you?
The
Clint did?
And they're like, you left us. I was like, I thought you were right behind me. I thought you were right behind
fucking
me.
liar.
I lied my ass off. Yeah, but yeah. That was fucked. Fuck that. But it was beautiful.
But that's, as someone, I mean, I've been sober for about 6 years now, 5.5. But that's something that's super interesting to me is the situations I would get myself in. And while they're happening, I would just think to myself, like, why the fuck are you in this? Like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I remember one time I got arrested. I've been arrested 8 times. But one of the times I got arrested, I was like, oh, maybe if I like go way over the top, they'll just be like, oh, this kid's more trouble than he's worth. We should just let him go. So I was like trying to break the handcuffs. This is like after football. Like I had gained all this weight. I was like a drunken mess. I was trying to like break the handcuffs.
Yeah.
And I'm not breaking the handcuffs. So I'm just like cutting my wrist, like trying to get out of the handcuffs. And I'm like slamming my head on the back of like on the window in the back of the cop car. Cause I was like, oh, they'll just let me go. So fast forward, when they put me in the cell and closed the door, I'm like screaming and yelling and doing all this shit. And then literally like within 10 seconds of like sitting down, I was like, why did you do all of that? You fucking piece of shit. Like, what is wrong with you? I was like, if I would have just told the officer, I'm sorry, I'll turn down the music, none of this would have happened.
Yeah.
But it's like, I've been in that situation, not obviously with a bear, but I've been in that situation a lot where it's just like, you're in it, and then all of a sudden your brain's like, why are we even here?
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think I told you, well, yeah, like with relationships and stuff too, I think I told you like that I got broken up with like dressed as a dude or whatever. Like, so I just don't know how like this shit even happens.
So what is the, tell them, because we kind of talked about it a little bit. Do you want to tell them the origin of the dressing up thing?
Okay, so like every Halloween I'm a man. Like I love being a man because like I'm just so like, you know, girly every day. Like I'm a slut. Like no, I'm just kidding, kind of. But like so every Halloween I dress up like a dude. I've been Bam Margera, I've been like Saul Goodman, Dr. Evil.
Saul Goodman, that's a good one.
Yeah, but Danny DeVito. And when I was Danny DeVito once, I was like, I'm getting fucked as Danny DeVito tonight. I looked just like him, and I was like, yeah, I'm the trash man. Like, just dressed like him. And I went
love
around.
That Always Sunny. I'm the trash. Come on, I throw trash and then I eat it.
Yes, I want to fuck Danny DeVito so bad.
You got to meet Danny.
I got
the other
to
day.
meet him.
That was cool.
So I was dressed like him, and I told my friends I'm getting fucked like this because I want to know if my personality as Danny DeVito is enough to get fucked like this.
It's an interesting challenge, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd go around to dudes and like.
Where is this? Is this in New York?
It's in Brooklyn.
Okay,
yeah.
Are you still in Flatbush at this point?
This is like Bushwick.
Okay.
No, I've moved all around.
It's all the same.
It's all the same, kind of. And I go up to this guy, and he's like Australian. Aussies love me, and so do Brits.
We got another story about that,
yeah.
which we'll get into.
But this guy's like, I was like, will you please fuck me? Like, I will suck your dick in the bathroom right now. I'm literally with a ball cap on, like a stuffed like thing with and like.
You're like, I have to win this.
I was like, I have to do this, and I was like, this is what I look like, you know? And he's like, that's you. And I was like, yes, that's me. Like, please, I'm this hot blonde. Like, please. Like, and he was so close. He like kissed me as Danny DeVito, and he was like, I can't do it. And I was like, fuck. And I was so mad. And then the next year I was like fucking Gaston, and I like broke up with this dude, and then I was like trying to get back together with him. I'm at this bar, like I looked horrible, like Gaston, like from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah,
like crazy.
Come on, I don't Gaston.
Yeah, no one fucks like Gaston or whatever that song is.
I don't think that's the Disney version, but
yeah, party, yeah, but sick. So I like show up.
Imagine a Disney movie where he's like, no one fucks like Gaston.
No, I mean it's basically what the song's about.
It is what the song's about.
Yeah, but so I'm like talking to my friends, like, I gotta get this guy back. And they're like, just show up at his doorstep, K-Day. And I'm like a wild card, I guess you could say. I used to be anyways. And I show up there and I'm so blacked out drunk. Like I probably had like 15 shots, like a bag of blow. Like I can drink, when I can drink like a whole fucking, like I'm,
That's how I was.
Cray. But I show up there and I'm like, I still love you. Like, I'm sorry. He's like, do you know what you look like right now? Do you know what you look like? And I was like, what? And like, I'm like crying and I'm like, I love you. And he's like, what are you doing? And
what is wrong?
And then like I walk in and like
That's
I look
hilarious.
in the bathroom and I'm like I'll send you the photo later. I literally am like in an old timey like British outfit in this black wig with like just huge eyebrows and like
just crying at his doorstep.
Nah, he did get back together with me for a second, but then I like.
Was that after you like a few days later after you were out of the Gaston costume?
Yeah, I think so.
That
but
night
then I broke up with him because I was like, yo, you don't want to fuck Gaston, you know, me as Gaston, you don't deserve me as K-Day, like, but. Yeah, but I love dressing up as dudes. In fact, like I want to get fucked by Beetlejuice. Like that's like my ultimate goal in life.
As what? So you dressed up as Beetlejuice?
No, in like a grand scheme of things, I guess that has nothing to do with anything. But like, I want somebody to dress up like Beetlejuice and like literally
let them know.
Talk like him, like like you want a little menage a trois, and like fuck the shit out of me and then leave. Like I don't want to know what you look like underneath that. Like I just want. So hit me up, Beetlejuicers. What's up? I'm gonna have all these people in my DMs.
Yeah,
like
this is gonna get a little wild. It's gonna get a little crazy, but that's what we love. Speaking of Australians,
when my friends watch this, they're all gonna fucking die.
These are the ones you sent me.
Yeah, I know.
Some of them I stepped on earlier because we were talking outside.
Right, have you ever seen male strippers?
Yeah, of course. I'm from Florida.
Oh, damn. Okay, I had never seen an actual male stripper.
Magic Mike takes place in Tampa.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that movie's kind of weird too.
I love
that
movie.
You love it?
I love it. I like the love story aspect of it.
See, I hated that. I just wanted straight up like dicks, like, and I was like, oh, there's like a concept. Great.
I love that.
Yeah.
I actually disliked the second one. I tried to do a bit about this, but it's not. I don't know. People didn't take to it. I disliked the second one because they throw away the entire love story from the first one with one line, which is like, "So glad you broke up with that girl." And I was like, "That was the whole fucking movie." The whole first movie was about Channing Tatum finding himself and like being a better person, and you threw it all away for a fucking money grab for a sequel.
You know what's crazy though is like I've never heard someone so passionate about Magic Mike until right now. Like
I really like that movie.
They just needed some exposition. There's throwaway line and
it was over. And the whole first movie, like the brother gets into drugs and almost dies, and Channing saves him, and you're like, oh, this guy's really growing as a person. And then They throw it all away. For the people who just wanted to see dicks around, the second one is all dancing. So anyway,
I really like this though. This is my favorite thing about you. Like he like fucking loves Magic Mike.
It was funny because Channing came into the restaurant a couple months ago, and I really wanted to be like, I'm like the biggest Magic Mike fan. But I didn't
He'd think
say.
that you were fucking with him, but like
I know, but I really was going to be like, no, I genuinely like that movie.
That
The dancing is
happy.
secondary.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey's like the evil villain, but you don't know he's evil until the end, and you're like, God. Which I'm sure you've dealt with people like that. I mean, we all have in this entertainment industry.
Yeah. But
So where did this happen?
So it was in Vegas for my friend's wedding, and me and my friend went to Thunder Down Under, and I told everybody in that wedding, I'm gonna fuck one of the Thunder Down Under dudes, and they're like, okay, K-Day, like.
They're probably all like, yeah, obviously, like we get it.
But like for me, I just had to prove it to. I'm like Stifler from American Pie.
Yes,
but a
you are
girl.
very. That's a great
like,
pull.
I really
That's a
am,
great pull.
Yes, I'm extremely like Stifler. So.
Everyone's just sitting and nobody's saying it, and you're like, hey guys, I'm gonna fuck
a
that guy,
stripper.
and they're like, all right, cool, like, nobody asked.
So we went, and I mean, it was fun. It was funny. It was cool. The guys were the hottest guys.
So did you go to
the?
Did you go to the club to see the show, or like?
Yeah,
how did
we
it
went.
work?
We bought tickets to the
Okay.
show. Me and my other friends went to like a regular strip club, but like we just wanted to see the dudes.
And how does that work? Because that's like that's more of
like
a
a
show than a
show.
club.
Yeah. But
so
then-
do you have to like wait till they're done, or what
Yeah,
do you,
so afterwards there's this bar, and I saw one of the dudes, and I mean, I don't know if this is allowed on your podcast, but like I went up there and I was like, yeah, like I was like, that was a really great show, and you know, like I used to be a Coyote Ugly girl, and he was like, oh yeah, man, like he's literally the dumbest dude I've ever met in my fucking life. He's like, oh really? Huh? Like nothing going on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you
I
said
was
he was
like,
super hot, yeah.
they're gonna be like, she hates men. No, I don't. Like I'm joking.
A lot of hot men are dumb.
But I went up to him and I
lot
was
of hot
like,
women are dumb.
oh yeah, so like I give like really great head, and he's like, what? And I was like,
He's just like, huh?
yeah, and I was like, I give really great head, and he was like, oh, I'll be down here in a second. I have to change my shorts, and I was like, okay.
What?
And so I told my friends, they're like, he's not coming back.
Was he wearing like
K-Day.
short shorts, like booty shorts?
And he was. I don't really know.
I didn't know if they were like shorts from the show.
No,
That would be
he
hilarious.
was dressed normal, but he came back with like green shorts. He did come back,
And he
I
did
went up
change his
there.
shorts.
He did, and all my friends are like, oh God, like we're never
Yeah.
gonna hear the end of this. And like I went up there. I mean, like I thought that this was almost a prank. This dude takes off his clothes. It looks like a Greek god. Like
Looks like
and
he's carved
like
out of
doing the
onyx.
show. I'm not even into hot guys. Like I actually like have never really dated someone like super hot. I like
Yeah.
kind of like funny and like just people who are cool. I don't actually. I don't like assholes. Like, but this guy was none of that. He wasn't an asshole. He wasn't smart. He wasn't funny. He was just hot. He's like putting oil on himself. I'm like, what? I've never seen this. I'm literally like, is this how guys feel when they like fuck a porn star or something? Because I'm just like, and I mean.
So wait, he's like getting
He's
ready.
like doing this whole show for me. I was like, hopefully I don't have to pay this dude. Does he think like?
Yeah, like what? That would
Luckily,
be
I
my
didn't.
first instinct was
Yeah,
like, fuck, I'm gonna have to pay.
Do I
this
have
guy.
to pay this guy to
Yeah.
fuck him? But I didn't. But it was the worst fuck I ever had. He kept asking me to eat his ass, and I didn't. Like, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I did.
Yeah.
No, but no, like.
You're in the heat of the moment, you know.
Right, but like, no, it was the worst fuck
So-
ever. He gave me cocaine, and it was not cocaine.
Really?
Yeah.
Baby
I'm
aspirin?
pretty sure it was like fucking meth or some
Oh,
shit.
really?
Like, I don't do that shit, you know, but I went back and my head was crazy. My friends were like, K-Day, you look crazy. And I was like, leave me alone.
Leave me. Well, because I've done it before. Because like when I talk about it in the one man show, but I spent $26,000 in 28 days in Daytona.
$26,000?
Yeah, in 28 days.
Oh my God.
But it was one of the big factors was this is when obviously my alcoholism and my drug addiction was really bad. And I was doing cocaine, but it's Daytona. So it's not like real drugs. Like people are grinding up baby aspirin and giving that to you. And so like I was burning through money, like snorting baby aspirin, thinking it was cocaine. And I was like, oh, maybe I have a problem.
Oh my God. Does it make you feel fucked up? Because I know that they cut it with stuff, but didn't it make it just has like a small rush or something?
Yeah, they cut it with like laxatives, and baby aspirin is something they used to cut it, but it was like more baby aspirin or more laxative than it was
as blow,
cocaine.
yeah.
And you can tell because it burns when it's baby aspirin, it like fucking burns.
Yeah.
And so like I was doing it, I was like, oh no, this is just how it's supposed to be. But I was like, no, I know it's not, because I've done drugs in South Florida where I know how they're supposed to be. So I was like, no, this is just different. And I'm like literally burning through money. And then,
oh my God.
And I talk about this in the One Man Show, but it was just funny because it was like, people years and years later, I get sober, I turn my life around, and then people would come up and they go, like, God, imagine what you could have done with that money. And I'm like, yeah, I'm very aware.
Yes.
I'm totally aware I could have paid off my DUIs or my fines or settled some of my court issues. I could have done a lot of things.
I think about that all the time. I mean, I've been to rehab 3 times, but I'm pretty sure I've been 4 times. Like, I don't even know.
Well, when
this
did
point.
if you don't mind talking about it, when was
I
the
don't
first
care.
time? When was the first time that
First
you went?
time I was 18, second time I was 22. That was inpatient, and that was like the real world.
What was that
like
one?
You live with like 2 houses, girls and guys.
That's what I
like
did. Yeah. So I did. So for context, when I burned through all that money, I moved in with my cousin in Oklahoma City for like 3 months. And I was doing stand up, but it was going terrible. Like I was just drunk every day.
Yeah.
And so I remember my cousin was like, hey man, if you can stay sober for 30 days, because you're good at comedy when you're sober. If you can stay sober for 30 days, I'll start getting you booked on shows. Because my cousin had been doing comedy there for a while, so he knew a lot of people.
Yeah.
I made it 28 days and I started drinking again. And my cousin found me and he was like, dude, what the fuck? Like it was 2 more days. Yeah. And I was like, I cannot stop. Like, I don't know what's going on. Because at the time, I didn't realize what an alcoholism was. I was just like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just can't stop. And so I went to rehab. Like within 24 hours, I was on a plane to rehab. And it was a live-in facility. This is what brought me back to Florida because it was in Jacksonville. It was a live-in facility. And it was, like you said, it's like one of those things where, and I, as an alcoholic and a drug addict, like I took to it, I'm super competitive. Like I do show business now. I played sports my whole life. I'm super competitive. So when I got there, I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And me and a lot of like the heroin addicts who are like trying to get their life together. Yeah.
You always, and then the people who've been there at the same place like 5 times, they're like the regulars at rehab. And they're like, that's the cool guy. But really, he just basically lives at rehab. Yeah. Did you have a rehab girlfriend or?
Did I?
Me too. Okay, I had
Did
a
I?
rehab. Yeah, exactly.
I have a whole bit about it. I had a rehab girlfriend, but it should have been a big red flag because she was a lesbian, but we hit it off, and tattoos, mohawk, like the whole thing, like super.
So
no
in rehab, you dated a lesbian with a mohawk?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
In Florida.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hell
great.
yeah.
I love it.
She wasn't from Florida, but.
Yeah.
So what happened with you? So when you go at 22, and the reason I ask this is because I've obviously I've been to detoxes since then. I've got sober because I woke up in a hospital with the doctor telling me you should have been dead 3 hours ago. Like we have no idea how you're alive.
I mean, I'm still struggling, dude.
So for you, when you go to the rehab at 22, like what was it your idea? Was it somebody else's? Like
dude,
what happened?
It was just bad.
Yeah.
You know, like
I know.
You know,
I know.
I'm not gonna go too far dark into it, but like I mean, there's a point I just was like, oh, I'm literally gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, and I was on a plane as well, like in the next 24 hours.
See, that's
and like
Hugh Laurie, who's an actor. He says it's like jumping out of a plane. He goes, it's like skydiving. You're always, because he's been sober for like 25 years or something. But he's the guy from House, the doctor on House.
Oh, okay.
But I heard an interview with him one time, and he was like, yeah, it's like jumping out of a plane. You always say like, yeah, I want to skydive, I want to skydive, I want to skydive. But that moment between being on the plane and being out of the plane is like a split-second decision.
Yeah.
He was like, that's getting sober. For him, it was that. And for me, it was the same thing. It was literally, I was sitting in the back room watching Netflix on my phone, hammered. My cousin walked in and he's like, what's going on? And literally within 24 hours, I was like going to like it would happen that quick.
Definitely. I remember when I went there, like, it was so. I remember at first they didn't let me go to rehab though. They put me into some. Oh wait, this is fucking crazy. When I went 22, you have to go to detox first, you know,
because you could die.
But they put me in some like almost mental institution. But I was not supposed to be there. Like I was like pretty like.
Do you know how many times I've said I'm not supposed to be here?
But this was like really fucked up people like saying real weird shit. They're like, she has a devil on her arm. Like she's Satan. I mean, I do have a devil on my arm, but like,
you do have a devil on your arm.
Whoops, I don't remember getting that either. Like to be honest, I don't remember this fucking tattoo at all. Like But they were like really thinking I was a witch in there, so everyone was against me. And I went into the therapist room because they're like, you have 2 more days in here. And I was like, I can't. you need to look me up. And I pulled a fucking card and I was like, I'm an actor. I'm in this music video, like, please look me up. I'm not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And they looked me up and the next day they sent me to rehab.
Damn!
I swear on my fucking life.
You
I
fucking
swear.
big dog.
I did. And I was like, I can't believe that fucking shit worked. And, but when I was in rehab, of course I saw, there's like a hot guy. And I don't go for jocks.
Yeah.
I like only talking about fucking hot dudes. I swear, look at the guys I've dated. Like, nasty. They're all fucking, fuck you guys. Y'all are gross as fuck. Beetlejuice, where are you? But he looked like a jock, you know. And I'm not I've never dated a jock, but like I was like, well, obviously this is the guy. This is the guy. I mean, I fucked him in the laundry room on the hill.
Yeah, the selection is a lot narrower.
Yeah, it should be the heroin addict that did this. Should it be this or that? You know.
What was the jocks?
I can't judge of anything.
What was the jocks DTC?
Like, it was heroin.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, that's my next boyfriend. Like, love him, you know.
Yeah,
but,
So then,
I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going to say his name, but years and years later, I went on tour and I toured in Cincinnati with the band Big Gorgeous.
Nasty Natty.
And he was there. My rehab boyfriend came to the show and was like, hey, and I was like, oh my God. Like, yeah. And he was like tan as fuck, the tannest white guy I've ever seen in my life. Like,
and you stayed sober?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But he was at my show. So that was cool.
I've had friends, so I have a buddy of mine, and again, I won't say his name, but it was from rehab, heroin addict from the Northeast, and he like got out and was struggling and then wasn't struggling and then was, you know how it is, up and down, and I went through the same shit, but obviously it's exacerbated when it's heroin because, you know, it's such a more intense kind of a thing. And then he got sober. He got sober like a year and a half before I got sober this last time. Because I went to rehab in 13. I didn't get sober till 18. Like, it took me a long road. But he got sober, and his life is like, you could not, like, he owns his own business. He makes like a shit ton of money. He like lives in a night, and it's like, you could not fathom. And obviously, as artists, it's different for us because, like, moving to New York and barely scraping by, I'm like, this is my dream.
Right.
But for like a quote unquote regular normal person, he's like crushing life, dude. And I'm like, dude, like, it makes me so happy. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, I remember helping you sell your car for like $400 because you had no money.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
It's insane. I mean, like, I literally was in rehab this year,
Yeah.
you know, and then I already relapsed this year. It's just like a constant struggle for me, but like, I do know, like, I can't do shit when I'm fucked up, but I'm addicted to being in trouble or something.
Yeah, well,
you know, like,
chaos.
It's like
You're addicted to...
It's like I have so many stories, and like when I'm sober, I'm doing so well, but then I have no material in my head. I know it's so fucked up.
No,
like, I have to find some kind of balance one day.
Yeah, it makes sense to me because.
Sorry.
We talk. Trust me, we've talked about we talk about this kind of stuff all the time. Addicted to chaos is what I always say, because it was from that line. Heath Ledger says it in The Dark Knight. He goes, "I'm an agent of chaos," but like that's how I am. Mm-hmm. I have been sober for 5.5 years, and I will still put myself in situations because I'm addicted to that. Like, I'm very good in chaos. And I don't know if it's because growing up as a child of divorce or like, you know, the situation my mom and my ex-stepdad were in, like I've been around chaos a lot. So, and then when I started drinking, I created my own chaos. And I felt comfortable in that because when everything's falling apart, I'm the best Brennan there can be. Like, I'm the person who fucking takes charge. Like, let's fucking fix it. Let's go. And so when everything would settle down, like my ex-fiance and I would have this conversation constantly. She's like, I don't understand. When you're sober, everything's great. Because for the first year we were together, I had just gotten out of rehab. She had never seen me drunk. And it was awesome.
Right.
And then I relapsed. And I say this all the time, but like boring to or normal to me is so boring. Like I don't like it.
Yeah, me too.
And so I would always hit it with a hammer.
It's weird you said ex-fiance. Like, I need to tell you one more thing.
Okay, let them know.
Okay, so...
Is this about the...
I got married.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Like, so right before I went to Alaska, I just went to Vegas for the first time with these two guys.
That was your first story you sent me, was married in Vegas.
It's insane. Like, I was not dating this guy.
So wait, set up the story. So you're living in New York.
Yeah, and I saved the money from Coyote Ugly, and I just wanted to go random places.
Yeah.
And I went to Bowling Green. I saw my like old friends, and I saw this guy, and I was like fucking him. And I was like, let's go to Vegas. I've never been to Vegas.
Oh, so this is a guy that you knew from before.
I didn't really know him that well.
Okay.
I knew him like through friends.
Like a friend
we were
of a
not
friend, yeah.
like good friends.
Not marriage material, as it were.
No, and I mean, like this guy looked. I mean, he was just like a skate. I don't even know if he was a skater. He looked like a skater.
That's your demographic. Like, you love it.
Sure.
You love
so
it.
I was like, oh, party, like, and I rented this car. Forgot the car was not mine, by the way. Like, I got served papers later for this car.
Oh, really?
Like, I just took the car.
Is this in Vegas?
This was like I rented it in like Nashville or Bowling Green, and then I just never took it back and got served. Like, I got in a lot of trouble, actually. I don't have a license.
You forgot you rented
I thought it was mine. I'm fucked up. Like, and so me and this guy and his friend went to Vegas. We went there. We got fucked up, whatever. And like the last, tons of shit happened. But like the last day, I was skating around, falling down, just on tons of drugs. The last day, I'm like, I think we should get married. He's like, yeah, we should.
You proposed to him.
Yeah.
On paper, you proposed to him.
I proposed to him. Like with a skateboard and a Johnny Drama from Entourage t-shirt.
Fuck yeah. We love Johnny Drama here.
I love Entourage. It's like my favorite show. I'm so weird.
Piven came into the restaurant the other day.
I want to fuck Jeremy Piven so bad. Give him my number. Jeremy Piven, what's up, boy? Oh my God. Like, I'm great. I'm single. Hey.
Don't listen to the first hour of the show.
Don't listen to the first. Yeah. Just send him that. Yo, Jeremy Piven, Ari Gold is my spank bank for life. Like, yeah.
So you're wearing a Johnny Drama t-shirt.
Yeah, skateboard in hand. And our friend is like, don't do this, guys. We can just go, no, we're going to a courthouse. Go to a taxi. Take us to the courthouse.
Oh,
sign
so you don't even
papers.
go to like one of the marriage spots in
We
Vegas.
did, but that would have been the easy thing. Just pretend we got married. But we're like, let's make this official. Someone that I've been fucking for 3 days. And then we went to the thing, and it was not a fun marriage wedding place. It wasn't like Elvis. It was like serious. And so we're in there just like
dicking around, and they were like,
yeah. Oh my God, like Vincent Chase. No. We got married, and then we did acid. And then I woke up in the desert in Vegas in this rental car with him and a friend. And one of them's outside just like on the car. And I was like, what the fuck has happened? Are we really married? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, cool. No, but like, we're really,
but
oh my
like for real.
God. Like, how does a 22-year-old get an annulment? Like, how do I get divorced? And
How?
I had to go back to Louisville in this rental car.
Yeah. Oh, this rental car doesn't go anywhere.
No, it was mine. In my mind, it was fucking mine. And I went to my mom's house, who I had not spoken to in a very long time, because before my dad died, he was a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, do you still know Dad's law firm? And she's like, what happened? Did you get arrested? And like all this stuff. And I'm just like, I got married. And like, it was so bad.
Normally it's a joyous occasion.
Yeah,
and you're like,
I wish I had just gotten arrested.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're like, actually, that would have been way better.
It would have been way better. So then I had to go to this office. They haven't seen me since I'm 12 years old at a funeral. And I'm just like, hey, remember me? You owe me a favor? Like, pulling that dead dad card. Like,
Just doing finger guns?
Yeah. Hey, give me an old. And then, but no, now I am.
Did they fix it?
They got it. It took like 89 days, and the cutoff is 90 days.
Wow.
But I did get an annulment, and I'm not married to that guy. I've never seen him or talked to him ever again either.
Wow.
Ever again. Like, my friend had to serve him papers to sign the like annulment.
That's
papers.
not even like a fun, like, hey, like you're all out one night.
I did see him. He got mugged on the news playing Pokemon Go, and like my friends were saying, didn't you get married to this guy in wherever he lived?
Oh, okay.
Like, didn't you marry this dude? And he was like, oh, I got chased by this guy playing Pokemon Go, and that was popular. I was like, that's the dude I married.
That's your ex-husband.
Yeah, that's my ex-husband. Shout out to you. I'm like, God, I miss your cock. No,
Playing
like, who the fuck are you?
Pokemon Go. He got mugged.
That's the last I heard of him.
You were married to that guy.
I was married to him. I mean, he was married to a girl who used to throw rats into cars.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh my God. Well, this was an adventure.
Yes,
okay?
it was.
Thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you for having me.
Of course.
This has been fun.
Plug everything one more time. Let them know.
Oh, listen to Barbie. Follow me at Cray K Day or Botch Video. And I love you.
You can really turn that voice on when you want to.
I really can't. You want me to?
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
I have an ex who was in the industry, and she could do the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. At Brennan T Comedy on all social media, BrennanTComedy.com. Check out the one-man show coming to YouTube in January. Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.
Beautiful.
That was fun.
Yeah,
That
perfect.
was so fun.